Welcome, viewers, to Food News and Chews. And Jeremy, we've got a great show going on today.
That's right. On this Sweet 16 and March Madness episode of Food News and Chews, we're at Sawyer's, an iconic restaurant in downtown Lexington, for a bite to eat before you go to the game. Also, we have a couple of great food news topics to talk about, some very important issues.
Serious stuff.
Followed by an interview with Jim Sawyer, owner of the restaurant. Also, if you guys are going to be cooking at home for March Madness, I've got an iconic version of the corn dog. You got to check these out, though, because mine are made with shrimp and pork.
Today's shoppers are informed. When shopping for the family meal, today's shopper chooses Critchfield Meats for fresh, all-natural quality meats, guaranteed. Make the right choice and visit our family before you feed yours. Critchfield Meats, the meat specialist, family owned and operated since 1969. That's a grade A choice, folks.
Welcome to Kentucky's largest commercial restaurant equipment and supply store. AZUR Superstore is a 15,000 square foot chef's treasure chest.
AZUR Superstore is the store for those in the restaurant industry, churches, and catering. Find chefware, large equipment, refrigeration unit, about anything needed for a volume event. AZUR Superstore, in business since 1954, offering free local delivery, so come on in and get hooked immediately.
And a complete line of chef apparel. AZUR Superstore, located at 1403 Versailles Road and AZURSuperstore.com.
Why do chefs choose Lyons Farm beef?
When I get things in the kitchen, I can tell like right off the bat. After I get done searing it or put it on the grill or roasting it or baking it or frying it or whatever I'm going to do, the second I cut into that thing, whether it's the resistance on the fork or just the way it kind of slides across the knife, it's got to be right on from the get-go. And it seems like this beef does that every single time.
Lyons Farm beef, available at Critchfield Meats and LyonsFarm.com.
A European experience without leaving Lexington at AZUR Restaurant and Patio. For lunch or dinner, enjoy excellent service and truly unique cuisine that will delight your senses. Unwind with award-winning cocktails or conduct business over a memorable meal. Every occasion is special at AZUR Restaurant and Patio, located off Harrisburg Road in the Beaumont Center.
Advertise your product or service on shows like this one. Contact Media 7 Broadcasting today. Call 859-317-4565 or email sales@m7bg.com. Reach potential new customers in the Louisville, Lexington, and other central Kentucky areas. Get your new ad produced for free by Media 7's audio and video professionals. Call 859-317-4565 today and let Media 7 create a marketing plan for you.
Welcome back, to viewers, to Food News and Chews.
That's right.
Before we begin, though, Food News, I got to make an announcement. I am running for the Senate. And just in case anybody would get mixed up, I am not Ashley Judd.
Right. We have to get you a campaign poster made, though. The hockey jersey, we got that laid out.
Yeah,
it'll be good, right?
Because that's what cute girls do.
That's right. Well, on to food news, Sylvia. What do you got for me this week?
Okay, Foodington Toast this week. We're hot off the presses, and we are very good reporters and journalists, and we have uncovered some things. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's talk about going local. That's what everybody talks about.
That's the greatest movement in the nation.
It is, and it's catching on in a lot of ways.
Right.
Like in Florida, in South Florida, they're doing things with wages. People who earn wages because of the recession weren't being paid on time and stuff.
Okay.
Well, the state won't do anything, so the local communities in South Florida have taken it on themselves to see that the wait staff gets paid.
So that's a nice little community twist on...
Yeah, it seems real reasonable, at least on the surface. However, another interesting issue on Go Local, and I want you to comment on this as a chef.
Please.
Because how do you stay local in this kind of weather? I mean, it's kind of chilly outside, right? It's winter time.
We have seasons in Kentucky. So when we talk about restaurants that use local food, we're not just talking about the abundance. The whole menu can't be local.
Right.
Unless you're going to be using grains and legumes and things that are pickled and canned. We do a lot of that here. We did it for survival back in the olden days.
Right.
But in terms of a restaurant that solely uses local, it's a little bit of a twist. Now in Kentucky, we have enough producers here that we have pork and chicken and meats and dairy and things like that.
So you do meat
all year long.
Yeah. What about vegetables and things like that?
We just don't have them. They don't grow. The soil is as hard as cabbage right now. I mean, it's like a rock, and you just can't get anything in there. But a lot of restaurants have the same issues. It's all the Northeast and this side of the country.
Sure.
In California, anything grows whenever you want it to. You just throw it out there. So those restaurants get to do that.
Well, what is it? And some are purists and say don't eat bananas and don't ship bananas in, but we do serve things like that, and I think the public probably...
I think that's a really valiant thing to do, but as a chef, whenever I see a great ingredient, I'm going to want it. If I have to mail order it in, I'm going to use it. So at the expense of the restaurant or the customer, I'm going to put out some great food. But I also like to buy a lot of local stuff. The problem is when foods are in season, there's so much of them, I don't know what to do. What am I going to do on my menu? Because I got corn, I got beets, I got squash, I've got all this great stuff.
Plus you have preserved foods now too, and people are doing a lot with canning and freeze drying and such as
That's right. That kind of helps you get into the winter months and maybe come a little bit back out of it. But local all the time is good for some restaurants, but you got to live in the real world, and we're kind of centralized in this area that has seasons, so it's only slightly possible.
All right, well, let's turn to the Russians. The Russians are coming. Hey,
I can see them from my
newsflash. They're considering arming missiles. The Cold War is going to start again. It got hot. They're going to spray bacon bits, bombarding U.S. neighborhoods.
Bring it on. That sounds like a great war.
Well, there's a Khrushchev.
Food fight.
You don't remember Khrushchev. He was like a huge communist guy that led Russia. He said, "We will bury you." Well, now they really are going to bury us in bacon bits. But anyway, what they're doing is they're like channeling Bloomberg, and they're getting healthy. They're not going to ban vodka.
The Russians?
Yeah, they're not going to ban vodka though.
It has less calories than bourbon.
Yeah, that's right. Well, they love their vodka, but they are going to get healthier, and it's like they're doing like Bloomberg did, where they're like.
It seems like they're attacking the advertisers,
and they're saying you can't advertise really icky, fattening, good-tasting food.
Well, I guess it takes big government to kind of come down on some of those industries, and that kind of moves into children eating fewer calories.
That's right, and that's the report, a huge report, and a lot of people are real upset about this, and a lot of people are real happy about this, like Marion Nessel, the food guru, who said this is a great trend because kids were eating too many carbohydrates.
Right, now it's not that they say they're eating fewer calories, but fewer calories from carbohydrates, which you know what that means basically is less sugar.
Yeah.
And I think that actually is hats off to large corporations, because I actually don't think a lot of kids are paying a lot of attention to what they eat. So if large corporations and food producers are using less sugars in their baseline products, and overall we're seeing a little bit of a reduction in caloric consumption from sugars, this is probably a good movement. Now we need a lot more of it to make a big difference in our obesity epidemic.
Yeah, and that's the objective of all this thing. And the only thing I can say about you is that you went to the Bacon Festival in Iowa in January. You were spotted with your bacon shirt on, okay? 96,000 strips of bacon.
I ate them, yeah, that's right. No, these vacations I go on, it's a cover-up. I'm going to Bacon Festival.
You and your bacon thing. Yes. Well, we'll be back after break, and we're at this great place, Jim Sawyer. We love him. And so we'll be back after break with Food News and Chews.
A European experience without leaving Lexington at AZUR Restaurant and Patio. For lunch or dinner, enjoy excellent service and truly unique cuisine that will delight your senses. Unwind with award-winning cocktails or conduct business over a memorable meal. Every occasion is special at AZUR Restaurant and Patio, located off Harrisburg Road in the Beaumont Center.
Today's shoppers are informed. When shopping for the family meal, today's shopper chooses Critchfield Meats for fresh, all-natural quality meats, guaranteed. Make the right choice and visit our family before you feed yours. Critchfield Meats, the meat specialist. Family owned and operated since 1969. That's a great A choice, folks.
Jeremy, the restaurant startup business is challenging. We should know.
That's right. In business since 1954, AZUR Superstore is the place to begin. Reconditioned equipment and the lease to purchase program can get you in and going in no time.
Seaworth, with its dedicated staff, can help you plan with CAD services that provide a successful layout.
Dan and his team will help you fill in the blanks with everything from soft drink machines to exhaust hoods. Come to Seaworth Superstore and make your dreams come true.
Located at 1403 Versailles Road and SeaworthSuperstore.com.
Why do chefs choose Lyons Farm beef?
It's consistent, it's delicious, it's got great tenderness, and it's really good for you. This nutritional element of making healthy animals for healthy eating is a big component about why their beef is so delicious. I feel so lucky to be a chef in Kentucky because the best way to express care for someone is to make them something to eat, and I get to do that every single day.
Lyons Farm beef, available at Critchfield Meats and LyonsFarm.com.
All right, hey, welcome back, Food News and Chews viewers. We're here with Jim Sawyer, and he's got a better half, too, and that's Molly. They both
Much
own,
better half.
Yeah, I would agree with that. They own Sawyer's, which is a great place and a great stage for basketball madness.
It's iconic downtown restaurant for lunch, and also anytime you're in for a convention or if you got a basketball game, this is the place to go. I mean, incredible burgers.
Yeah, and we got the Sweet 16 coming up, and
An extended Sweet 16.
Yeah,
One extra day.
extended, yeah, and then when we're taping this, it's actually going to be happening in the future. And then we have there's some tournaments coming up, even though the Cats
Something
are a little
about the
down on their luck.
NCAA.
Yeah, well, we're kind of
Tell us
blocking
about what
that.
those kind of events do for business downtown.
Oh gosh.
And you.
Talk about the element of excitement. As you can see by blue, the devotion to UK basketball, the devotion to high school basketball, the devotion to NCAA is just pure adrenaline. You know, you were saying the conferences and conventions, those are my bread and butter. But when you bring 23,500 fans dressed in blue who are absolutely out of control, and they're going, you can't see it on the camera,
fans,
but we're right across the street from it, and you bring them down here and put them on a timer and say, you got to get in here in a couple hours, you just get packed. You've been through this.
And you have all of these things. And how many burgers and stuff do you serve? I mean, just give us some volume
10.
numbers.
No.
I ate that many.
We were chuckling when the people from Southern Living came down here. They were timing us, and we were sending burgers out every 6 to 8 seconds.
Oh,
That's
wow.
ridiculous.
Well, it's a little different than a gourmet restaurant, which is, of course, what you do, which is amazing to me.
Well,
It's just
there's
amazing.
nothing more
to me.
gourmet than a good burger.
Oh, there is absolutely nothing better.
Well, it's just we do kind of like the little engine that could. We get this engine started and we get it rolling. We start doing burgers, and I've got a guy named Monty over here who can cook a burger.
That's the
And he
burger
throws
thing.
5 burgers down, flips them over, 5 new ones on, flips them over,
Yeah.
and they're just rolling. And they're
I gotta-
sold before he gets them on the grill. You wait to see what
skills,
this.
maybe.
I know.
He's good. He's
hey,
good.
Talk about what's happening in downtown. You know, it used to be retail. When I was a little girl, a long time ago, you know, you went downtown for the department stores. Well, they went away.
I mean, we're actually in the old, what was called Festival Market. Right? And that was a big retail outlet, but
Yeah.
now downtown's being filled up with
restaurants.
Jeremy,
Well,
you're right.
what
It
does
is
that
a
mean?
kind of, well, I think that it's kind of like the Nashville-esque, or when my wife and I go to Scottsdale or wherever we decide to go. Downtown's kind of like the draw to, when people come to stay,
heart,
that's
yeah.
where you want to have the heart of Lexington. And, you know, we got the Hilton and the Hyatt right across the street, and right across the street's a building that has been kind of rolling around a little bit, and they're getting more excited about possibly re-restauranting all of that.
Maybe Victorian Square, is that?
Absolutely. And you know what happens is these people come into town, they're looking for something to do close. They don't want to hop in a cab, and they don't want to have to drive their car,
Yeah.
especially, you know, you don't want people.
Conferences and
Exactly.
numbers of people.
Well, and we were talking about that
them.
earlier. All the people that are down for this fire conference this weekend are eating and then going right back. So they don't have time. So we need to facilitate them.
Well, will that happen? I mean, it's not just a trend, you think? It's just something that will be here to stay, and people are just kind of discovering.
conferences
and
or the restaurants?
The restaurant scene.
More importantly, I'm seeing that in downtown restaurants, it's not just the corporate places that
Yeah.
are moving in. It's usually these independent
Independents,
restaurants that
yeah.
actually show a little bit of what the town has to offer.
There's not a chain downtown.
Right, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I think that's a
exactly.
really great thing.
Well, and that's, you know, you can go right across the street and get a fantastic sit-down. You can go right around the corner and get a guy with Middle Eastern seasoning. I mean, he's got Shakespeare
it.
right across
I
the
love
street.
it,
You know,
yeah.
Dudley's, oh my gosh, second to none.
Hey, speaking of something that might be a trend or might not be, your opinion, let me stand back a little bit. Food
I'm
trucks.
very docile. Food trucks, you know, what a neat thing to do.
It's going through the system, may have already happened by the time.
I know, and you know, I think we spoke about it. I think that it's kind of falling on deaf ears in a sense. I hear their fight, and I understand they talk about underserviced downtown. Last Tuesday, I did not do enough money to pay my staff. In total volume,
That's
and
the life
downtown
of a
Lexington was quiet. A food truck would probably have gone home. Well, I'd love to have been able to close my doors and go home. And that's not fair because I can't, and my kids have to pay their rent. So I think that food trucks are probably coming, and I would go to them if they told me a spot that they would be, maybe set up a spot where they're at every day, day in, day out if they want to be there. If they don't feel like working that day, they don't even have to start the engine. But it's a little frustrating for me after 27 years of beating on the streets and making sure my name got out there that someone can park right down the street from me and open up, and there's no stopping them from selling whatever they particularly want. And my job will be to make sure that they come here. Their job will be to make them come there, and there's just no need for that squabble. I sure wish I could only open when it was busy. That would certainly help my bottom line.
Yeah, it's a different kind of trend and philosophy going on. Right now, you're service-oriented, you're here for your customers, and you make it convenient for them by being in one place. Chasing food trucks all over the town might be something that people like to do for a little while, or maybe they kind of get tired of it.
I have particular places I go for particular items, and my wife and I have this evening cycle that we'll hit. We happen to enjoy one place for seafood or another place. My wife, obviously, when she was working in Beaumont, wore out your place, and I hope we didn't break anything. But but the thing for me is if a food truck doesn't do enough volume to pay a rent somewhere, I totally get their point. I just don't think it's fair for them to dilute the ability for the people that have made it through the tough times and to now reach a point where they can prosper, that they can come down and dilute that margin for us.
Fair and
You
balanced.
think it's like an area where all of them line up is going to be the area, so it's like a food truck court.
They do that in multiple cities. And
Well,
you
like
go
Washington
and
and
I would,
places.
if I could find a falafel, if I could find some good Greek food, if I could find, there's multiple places I would go to track them down, but I just don't think it's fair that they can try here, here, and here, and figure out where the best place
Well,
is.
we'll see where it goes. Hey, the evolution of the hamburger.
Who created fire?
He gotten
Bread, and
fancy.
they had cows,
And they put them together.
What was the king that was playing cards and made the sandwich?
But over time, what we've seen is like I've heard this Elvis burger, which has peanut butter on it.
Oh, yeah,
and,
peanut butter
you know,
and
now
gourmet-
bacon's
gourmet
okay.
burgers.
Yeah, like super burgers, like burger. The evolution of the burger is there are actual stores that serve just varieties of burgers. Have you found your people are coming in from all over the state, primarily? Well, I guess if it's in the CAA,
Sure.
Well, they
they're
come
coming
from all
from
across.
everywhere.
We have
But
couples
Sweet
that stop
16
here.
is real,
Very
Kentucky.
state oriented.
What do they
We get some recruiters in that are looking at talent for the NCAA. We actually have people that stop that are winter birds in Florida from Michigan that stop every year on the way down and every year on the way back. Right. And we have a family reunion group that comes here from Virginia and all kinds of places, and they rendezvous here on their way to Atlanta. So. But literally what amazes me is what you're talking about, the gourmet burger end of it.
I've seen like $100 hamburger before with short ribs, stuff with foie gras, like that's
I
really
know, it's like,
awesome. But also just, there's nothing more satisfying than just a good
or
burger,
your
and also
chili
more
burgers.
gourmet.
Your chili burgers are to
What's the old
die
saying?
for.
Thank you. My wife eats them and she weighs 105 pounds. I was amazed.
I wish I knew her secret.
I can't catch her. She runs very fast. And so, I think that my philosophy, which is a little different than AZUR, we are just plain. We serve it out the door, and then if they want to gourmet it, you bring them a gorgeous item. And I basically give them the plate, and they can fill that plate. I have a guy that comes down and gets mushroom olive burger. I got other people that come down and get, I've seen green peppers, onions, and carrots on a burger. And it's phenomenal.
That's almost vegetarian.
I mean, it's almost like a healthy burger, right? Burgers are healthy, just moderation.
Oh, they are.
Right?
They are very healthy. Yeah, it's good.
Michael Phelps.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, we're proud of you and all the work that you're doing
keep it up.
I'm honored to be
in
here.
downtown. You are one of the anchors of this place. You've kind of watched it grow up, and you will watch it as it evolves, and Lexington's getting even better every single day. But you've been listening to Jim Sawyer, and Molly's not here, but she's back working, and we're going to put him back to work.
Good downtown.
I have to go back to work. Thank you all very much.
We'll be back after break with what?
Well, I'm going to do a little cooking segment.
You
Corn
are.
dogs.
Corn dogs.
Hello, my name is Bob. Recently, I switched my business phone service to Glow Telecom. Now I'm saving over 50% on my monthly phone bills, over $2,000 a year. And I have a PBX phone system that would have cost me over $10,000. Unlimited calling to the US and Canada with no long distance charges. If you want to put money back in your wallet, call Glow Telecom today.
Call Glow Telecom at 888-428-0984. 888-428-0984.
A European experience without leaving Lexington at AZUR Restaurant and Patio. For lunch or dinner, enjoy excellent service and truly unique cuisine that will delight your senses. unwind with award-winning cocktails, or conduct business over a memorable meal. Every occasion is special at AZUR Restaurant and Patio, located off Harrisburg Road in the Beaumont Center.
Today's shoppers are informed. When shopping for the family meal, today's shopper chooses Critchfield Meats for fresh, all-natural quality meats, guaranteed. Make the right choice and visit our family before you feed yours. Critchfield Meats, the meat specialist, family owned and operated since 1969. That's a great A choice, folks.
Advertise your product or service on shows like this one. Contact Media 7 Broadcasting today. Call 859-317-4565 or email sales@m7bg.com. Reach potential new customers in the Louisville, Lexington, and other central Kentucky areas. Get your new ad produced for free by Media 7's audio and video professionals. Call 859-317-4565 today and let Media 7 create a marketing plan for you.
Hey, give me an A, give me an S, give me an H, B, Y. Ask me.
Oh, come on now, right?
I didn't mean to put you out
I
of
was going to
commission.
give you a corn dog, too. Anyway,
give
guys,
me a corn dog.
check this out. If you're into basketball, you're cooking at home, I've got a little corn dog recipe, but mine are different. It's got a little shrimp and pork. It's fun for basketball games, carnivals, events, and fairs, right? So here's how you make it. I've got some ground pork here, about a pound. Very simple. You get it at any grocery store.
Looks like legislation.
Really,
Sausage being
sausage
made.
grinder, right? So here's some raw shrimp that I've diced up. Very, very simple.
Okay.
Maybe a half a pound of that.
Bring
I'm
it
gonna
on,
add it to
baby.
it. And Sylvia, you just keep mixing. Use the spoon. And as
See?
I add ingredients, you just
All right.
kind of fold them in there. Really
All
give
right,
them
see, I'm good.
some trouble too. A couple tablespoons of hoisin sauce available in the Asian section. Stuff is great.
Of any grocery store, right?
In the grocery store, no problem.
In any grocery store. Okay. Very good. I'm doing well.
Next
Folks,
up-
look, I'm actually cooking.
That's
well,
right.
kind of.
You're mixing,
I'm
but
mixing,
you're a
which
very
is
good
essential.
mixer, right?
Essential.
Shallots and garlic are in there.
All right.
If you notice, mine have a little Asian flair. I think it's
Ooh. Man, that smells
of fun.
good. Ooh, yummy.
diced jalapenos.
Now I could eat those just
We're
like
gonna add a lot of those, right?
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
remember, if you take the seeds out, they're really not that spicy.
Oh,
It's
man,
more
those
about that
smell
green,
good.
fresh flavor.
Yeah.
Chopped cilantro.
Yeah. You gonna post this?
Yeah, we're gonna post the recipe on
that's good.
foodnewsandchews.com, so you guys have all the amounts
Yeah,
you
sounds
need.
great,
But
sounds
here's all
great.
you got to do is mix this stuff anyway. So scallions
Well, I'm worn out. You have to do more.
and chopped fresh ginger. Don't buy any ground ginger. That stuff doesn't taste very good in my
Ooh,
opinion,
that
unless you're
is-
using it in a spice rub. Fresh ginger is nice
Yeah.
and pungent, spicy, kind of has that neat,
Ooh, that smells really good.
really good smell, right? So we've got this, what we would call in the kitchen, this farce, this mixture of
Yeah.
ground pork and ground shrimp and
Have
all
I
these
done
great
well?
ingredients.
Have I
You've
done well?
So
Okay,
this is
now
kind of
what?
like our hot dog, right?
All right. Now.
Our hot dog meat. So here's how you make it into somewhat of a sausage.
Yeah,
Okay, you're done?
I'm done.
All right.
If you tell me I'm
We're
done.
gonna take some saran wrap
Yeah.
and drape it over our cutting board.
Hey, Jeremy, I was going to tell
And
folks.
this is gonna be kind of like the sausage lining. What's
We
that?
went to 100,000 people attending Rep Arena for the Sweet 16.
That's right.
that
They're all
amazing?
around us too.
Yowie, kazowie.
So add your mixture, your hot dog mixture,
You notice
to
he's
the
taking it
saran
out
wrap,
of my hands. Yeah.
and all the way across like this.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're making a big sausage, right?
Just a great big.
And the skin of the sausage is actually the saran wrap.
Yeah.
Now watch this little trick. I'm gonna fold this over and roll this up. Roll the sausage and shrimp up,
So it becomes like a hot dog.
and take the two ends of the saran wrap,
Yeah.
and then start rolling this way, right? And what happens? It compresses into
You're so
almost
cool.
like a sausage, right? So that's really neat. So next up, we would use our sticks. So we're gonna make 2 large corn dogs here. After we unroll this,
Where's the corn
well,
part?
you can
Where's
actually
the corn part?
stick this in here,
Okay.
just like that. Spread it around. We'll take the saran wrap off. Now the neat part is you're just gonna use like any kind of cornbread mixture you would have, like a cornbread batter,
Yeah.
and we're gonna dip that in there and fry it. So let's go show them how to do it.
Cornbread's the new pasta.
Oh no. All right, Sylvia, in the kitchen
All right,
at Sawyer's,
we're
right?
ready. Ooh, I'm watching.
We've made our
Fantastic.
corn dogs. They're on the stick.
Yeah,
And
awesome,
just a simple
awesome.
cornbread batter is all you need to
Okay.
do to dip them in there.
Hey, can you use that on that chicken fricassee? Lincoln gig?
That's a perfect recipe for this. If you got to find the recipe for a nice corn cake batter,
Yeah, that's on the website,
that's
right?
on our website, foodnewsandchews.com. So once you get it coated nicely,
and you can double up. I mean, make one.
Right. Gonna have to get your hands kind of messy.
Yeah.
And take your corn dog and just kind of drop it in there. Let that guy fry up. We'll do one more.
Okay.
And this is a messy process, but you want them good and soft and gooey.
I almost asked a dumb question, like how you get them out of there.
Well, hopefully you have a basket and you've thought ahead about that.
Like, duh.
Do not use your fingers.
Do not let me in a kitchen.
All right.
And
So
don't
now-
let these potato chips burn.
That's right. Good, so we'll let these go for a minute.
All right, all right.
Go. See, they're getting nice and golden brown here.
Ooh.
Now, that's a good looking homemade corn dog.
You shouldn't let me in a kitchen. Dog
All right,
days.
Sylvia,
Yeah.
these are our corn dogs. Smell that? Awesome. So you'll,
And look how pretty.
yeah, presentation's a big deal.
it is.
So if you're going to serve these at a party for fun, you can kind of geek it out a little bit. A little papaya and mango and pineapple.
Yeah.
Then I made a pineapple mustard. That's just yellow
snuck
mustard
a little bite
pureed
of
with
that,
fresh
yeah.
pineapple. How good is that? So if you're going to serve these on a tray, maybe cut the little tip off, right?
Yeah.
That way they have a little bit of way to stand up.
Ooh, look at that, how pretty.
Yeah, and just put them in your tray, just like that.
The tips looks pretty good.
They are good.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah. This is fun
Little fellas.
football food, right?
Yeah, here.
There you go.
Here, I'll help it out until you get the next
Right.
one.
And you can kind of garnish the tips with some star fruit.
Oh, you are too clever.
Kind of looks like a fun little thing, right?
Yeah. Here.
There you go. And we'll do one more, just for fun. See if that guy
Leaning
stands up for
tower
us.
of corn dog.
So there's a fun little platter of shrimp and pork corn dogs.
Beautiful.
Pass those out for the game. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's great. You've
Can't
been
wait to
listening
run.
to Food News and Chews and Chef Jeremy Ashby with another magical, wonderful dish. We'll see you next week.
Let's try these out.
Yeah. What happened to the tips? Those look pretty good.
Yeah, they're okay.
Hello, my name is Bob. Recently, I switched my business phone service to Glow Telecom. Now I'm saving over 50% on my monthly phone bills, over $2,000 a year. And I have a PBX phone system that would have cost me over $10,000. Unlimited calling to the US and Canada with no long distance charges. If you want to put money back in your wallet, call Glow Telecom today.
Call Glow Telecom at 888-428-0984. 888-428-0984. Advertise your product or service on shows like this one. Contact Media 7 Broadcasting today. Call 859-317-4565 or email sales@m7bg.com. Reach potential new customers in the Louisville, Lexington, and other Central Kentucky areas. Get your new ad produced for free by Media 7's audio and video professionals. Call 859-317-4565 today and let Media 7 create a marketing plan for you.